Welcome back outside Gillette Stadium, everybody. My name is Mike Petraglia, joined by Ryan Hannable, Patriots writer for WEEI.com and the It Is What It Is blog. Day one of Patriots minicamp here outside Gillette Stadium, and some noticeable absences. Leading off, Ryan, Rob Gronkowski not in attendance. Malcolm Butler was here, but Rob Gronkowski and among several people and the several Patriots players who did not show up. I guess the big question is, what do you make of it?
I think you're going to make a little bit out of it. It's the first time in his career that he's missed minicamp, but then you have to take into consideration, just because he's not on the field doesn't mean that he's not at the facility. We saw him at Meyercraft's charity event last week. He did a charity event here on Sunday, shaving his head. So he's been around. If he really was making a stink about his contract, I don't think he'd be doing any of these things. But I think you do have to take a little bit into account that he didn't show up with the rest of the team out on the camp, and he is going to get some fine for it if it's not an excused absence. So it does go back a little bit.
Bill Belichick was indeed asked about Rob Gronkowski's absence, and he says a lot of people are not here out on the field. The players, as he always says, the players here who are ready to practice. Those who aren't. And that is Bill Belichick's way, his classic way of deflecting, and I wouldn't expect that to change even for a guy like Rob Gronkowski.
Yeah, I don't think he wanted to talk about the matter. He sort of deflected the question in typical Belichick fashion. He would do that with any player, like you said. Just because it's Rob Gronkowski, it's going to be probably made a big deal out of it. But again, he wasn't on the field, and Belichick is obviously not going to get into any reasons why.
Right, and there were obviously some other key receivers, parts of the receiving game for Tom Brady, also not in attendance. We know about Julian Edelman. He has been spotted in public with the boot on his left foot. And obviously, Danny Amendola not in attendance among several receivers who are not here. James Devlin back on the field for the Patriots. He did speak after minicamp. He was very, very appreciative of the contract that the Patriots gave him. And Martellus Bennett, he did speak. And I'll tell you something, Ryan. He is one of the more personable recent players to come through Patriots camp.
Yeah, absolutely. He talked on a number of subjects, had a lot of good quotes, and the biggest takeaway for me was coming away late. He was asked about his contract, and this being the last year of his contract, and he said that this was the first time he really thought about it. He didn't really know until he was reminded of it, which probably is hyperbole, but he didn't. It sort of shows that he's sort of buying into the Patriot way, that it's about the team first, which I think is a good sign, because he had some problems in Chicago with that, sort of complaining about playing time. So I think that sort of sense of his attitude is a good thing to see. And like you said, he's going to be one of the more fun guys to talk to this year in the locker room.
He really does light up a room. Before we move on to the Malcolm Butler situation, I want to ask you about a pass that Jimmy Garoppolo made to number 17, Aaron Dobson. It was a spectacular route and one-handed grab in the back of the end zone, actually right behind us, by Aaron Dobson. And Jimmy Garoppolo afterward was very quick to give praise to Aaron Dobson for laying all out. I think everybody in a Patriots uniform knows that Aaron Dobson has had his ups and downs in his several years since being taken out of Marshall. And is this the year, perhaps, that a guy like Aaron Dobson finally breaks through? We've been asking this question, it seems like, every minicamp, every training camp.
Well, I think it's make or break for Aaron Dobson. If he doesn't perform in this mini camp and the start of training camp, I think he's probably going to be let go. I don't think he makes the 53-man roster if he doesn't break out. But I think he does have a few things going for him, that Danny Amendola and Julian Edelman are out, so he gets more reps with Tom Brady. And like we said today with Garoppolo, that he gets a chance to prove himself. So I think him making plays like that today definitely bode well for him, for the future. But he needs to make more of those plays and be more consistent, or else I don't think he has a spot on this team.
All right, a fascinating story, and we mentioned Malcolm Butler before. I was in on the scrum with number 21. Everybody wanted to know if he would show up. Indeed, when they took the field just after 11:15 this morning, there goes number 21 out on the field, and everybody, as our colleague Chris Price said, everybody could stand down. Malcolm Butler was on the field in the premises of Gillette Stadium. But after practice, the first question, obviously, of Malcolm Butler is your contract. And he said, I'm out here to play. I'm just relieved to be back on the field. Let the contract take care of itself. Question for you, Ryan, is do you think he is capable, at his very young age, just entering his third year in the NFL, of playing the way he's talking?
Yes and no. I mean, I kind of go back and forth on Malcolm Butler. Obviously, he had a very good season last year. Obviously, he made the play in the Super Bowl, but it was just one season. So, to me, I think he needs to do more than just one season to sort of prove himself that he is deserving of a new contract. It was a little interesting to me that when a colleague, Chris Price, asked Malcolm Butler why he wasn't here at the OTA last week, and he said it was a misunderstanding. Then there was a follow-up question asked, said it was a family issue. So, I mean, you gotta take a little bit, maybe there's something going on there with the family issue. It seems like that this would have gone out there if there was indeed a serious family issue. I'm not gonna, put words in his mouth, but
Right.
I think there was something to be said for him not being at the OTAs last week, because of course minicamp is different than OTAs because the OTAs are voluntary. So with him missing minicamp, that's a big chunk of change, especially for a guy that's only making $600,000 this year.
Right, and the Patriots are experts, as we all know, in really not stepping into it in terms of PR and what they say to us in the media. And again, I think that was the case here on Tuesday. There was some reading between the line, but nobody came out and said that anybody was unhappy. No players, that is, obviously, came out and intimated that there was any dissatisfaction with off-the-field issues that you read about all the time in places like Dallas or in New York. That just does not exist here.
I agree, and I think that comes back to the whole thing about this being just mini camp. They're not in pads. It's you don't know what some of the drills are, what the goal is to drill. Sometimes defensive backers are going half speed. Sometimes they're told to let the offense do this, let the offense do that. So I think everything from today needs to be taken with a grain of salt, and that goes with what's being said to the media. Everyone's going to say the right things, especially the new guys just coming into the system and wanting to make a good first impression. So again, while it's nice to see football back on the field and actual passes being thrown and stuff like that, it is just mini camp, so everything does need to be taken with a grain of salt.
Day one of 2016 Patriots minicamp is officially in the books. They are scheduled, Ryan, to be out here on Wednesday and Thursday with a final OTA set for Monday of next week. We'll see if that schedule gets altered at all over the next several days. So for all the coverage of all the Patriots news on and off the field, be sure to visit the It Is What It Is blog on WEEI.com. Be sure to read our colleague Chris Price, of course Ryan Hannable, and yours truly on the blog. Until we speak again, he is Ryan Hannable. I'm Mike Petraglia, outside Gillette Stadium, WEEI.com.